Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today I'm excited to be joined by Katy Margison, the Sober Weightlifter, a sobriety-focused fitness coach, and the founder of Athena Nutrition, a coaching platform that supports individuals navigate sobriety while rebuilding physical strength, mental resilience, and self-belief. Her mission is bold and honest, to help people reclaim their power through sobriety, strength training, and intentional living, one rep, one choice, one day at a time. Katy, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me today. Such a pleasure.
Yes, thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited to have you here, and I'm excited to dive in and learn more about your journey. With all of my guests, I do actually like to start at the beginning. So if you don't mind briefly taking me back to what it was you was doing before you started up Athena Nutrition, and then from there, what was the motivation behind it?
Sure. So the Sober Weightlifter is my social media handle. That really stemmed from a over a decade long battle with alcoholism. And then that turned into an addiction to cocaine. And my journey with alcoholism and addiction was a little bit opposite what you typically hear. What's typical is you find those things when you're younger, maybe in your teens, early 20s, and then you break free from that and grow from there. I built up a successful career in healthcare through my 20s, early 30s, and found myself addicted to cocaine when I was 35, which is not always the normal trajectory that you hear of. And thank God that I had the the strength to decide one day, about 2 years ago to this day, that
Wow.
I had to stop. I could not live my life like that anymore. I was at risk of starting to lose things that were important to me, not only like job and just my life too. It's a very risky thing to be partaking in. And I decided on January 1st of 2024, enough was enough. And so that means almost 2 years sober,
Yeah, well
which is
done.
really exciting. And I had been in the fitness space for a long time. I have been an avid CrossFitter for 13 years, competed in Olympic weightlifting on a national level, and all while drinking like heavily. I don't even know how I did it. But when I got sober, I quickly gained a lot of weight, which was the opposite of what I expected to happen. I thought, "Oh, I'm going to stop drinking. I should lose a lot of weight," but I was still seeking dopamine through food.
Yeah.
And I realized fairly quickly, a few months into my sobriety, something's got to change. So I started on my own health journey with just very simple habits every day that I was going to focus on: walking more, starting to track my food, eating in a calorie deficit, all of those things. These were all things I knew, but was never really successful with myself because alcohol always got in the way. And I taught CrossFit for many years, and I'm a USA weightlifting coach. So I had a lot of people who knew me as that. And when I started sharing about my own sobriety and health journey, I had one person reach out and say, "Hey, do you help others with this?" And he had reached out actually when I was in the worst of my addiction. And at the time, I was like, "Oh, I don't really have my own life together right now. So it's probably not a good idea that I coach others." He didn't know what I was actually going through. Long story short, I saw an opportunity, and I started coaching him and his wife for free while I pursued additional education on top of what I already had with fitness and a little bit of nutrition education. I got an additional certification. And then I started coaching like two more people for free. And while I figured out the process of how I wanted to do this, I realized I have a really good opportunity here to monetize this in some way and actually make it something I do like on the side. It started as a side project. So I did that, started charging a very small fee for coaching, and posted on social media that this was what I was doing, and very naively thought like people would start coming to me. That's not how it works in online businesses. So I very quickly realized I needed help with this. So I hired a business coach early this year, really helped take me to the next level. And I'm now on my second business coach, but her and I have such good rapport and working together that now I'm able to do this full time. I'm actually leaving my 9 to 5 job this week so I can focus on Athena Nutrition and continuing my impact in the world when it comes to living your best life.
I love that. And thank you so much for sharing your journey. Like, it's a very personal one. So thank you so much. And I love the fact that you're also putting all that knowledge to good use and helping other people move on and do the same thing because and you said it's not a very normal trajectory or a very normal path, but I believe that everyone's should be different and everyone's is unique. So no matter what stage of life you go through it, you can still pass those tips on for other people to help prevent or even get them out of the situation they're in. So I love that. So let's dive into
Mhm.
Athena Nutrition a little bit more then.
Yeah.
Considering this is now the main focus of this week, which is really cool. I really like that. So walk me through, who would you say is your ideal client? Who do you really love to work with? And then from there, how is you help them and how do you support them along the way?
Yeah. So I love working with women primarily. I do have a handful of male clients. They are fantastic, but women, I think, know women best
Yeah,
and the unique challenges that come with being a woman. And
absolutely.
I primarily work with women who are age 30 to 55 or 60. So middle of life, maybe childbearing age, maybe going
Hmm.
through perimenopause or menopause. They're busy. They have careers. They have one, two, three, sometimes four children. They might be a single mom, or they might have a supportive spouse. They're running their kids to soccer practice and baseball practice. Like they don't have an adequate amount of time to prioritize themselves, which is why they haven't. And that is typical of most women. We're not very good at prioritizing ourselves. We often put ourselves last and we're taking care of everyone else. And you cannot pour from an empty cup. So, my job with my coaching is to take the mental load off of them when it comes to fitness, to nutrition, to mindset and behavior change. And how I do that is there's four pillars that I really focus on. There's nutrition, there's fitness, there's sleep, and there's stress management. And all of those things being focused on simultaneously can really lead to you looking at yourself as I'm somebody who eats healthy now. I'm somebody who abstains from alcohol. I'm somebody who goes to the gym 4 days a week now. And those are statements that when my clients say those things out loud and they're like, oh, I'm really seeing like an identity shift, that's when I know like I'm doing the right thing because it goes beyond just here's some calories and protein to eat every day and do this split of workouts. See you later. That there are programs like that's great. But what I do is very personalized and customized to get you to whatever your goals are. And it might take longer, but it's going to be the last time that you have to do this. And for most women, that's losing weight. That is a goal. But the reason why has to be really powerful. And that's something I like to assess when I have an initial call with them to see, is this a good fit for us to work together? What's your reason why? A superficial reason is great. Maybe it's wanting to look really nice in a certain dress, or maybe it's a certain weight, but more often than not, women come to me saying, I want to model better eating behaviors for my daughter. She's 5
Yeah.
and she's starting to pay attention more and more. And I didn't have the greatest example when I was growing up, so I want to be different for her. Or I see my own parents are now struggling with diabetes, and I know my habits are leading me down that path. So I don't want to end up like that. Those are really powerful reasons that go beyond just weight
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah, I love it. So really looking like longevity, holistic approach to everything. I love the fact you're taking fitness, nutrition, and mindset into everything because they're the three pillars. And as you said about women, they do often put everybody else first, and then they show up with a
Mhm.
cup empty and then expect everything else to blossom and flourish from there. But without them turning up as their full self, ready and there to support people, it's very hard to do that. So I love the fact that you're taking that into consideration and a tailored approach to everyone because everyone's different within that. But within the fitness space, you do have a lot of noise to come up against. There is the other side of it that is for that instant success, that instant gratification, like the perfect body, the weight loss, the Instagram look. So, like, how do you go about maybe combating that noise and really finding those right people that you want to work with and the ones that are right for you, ready to take that one step at a time and that only journey they need in life to have them set up moving forward?
Yeah, you're spot on in that the fitness and nutrition, the wellness industry, which I'm
Wellness.
seeing it called big wellness now. There's like big pharma.
Yeah.
Big wellness is just as big, if not bigger, of an industry. And it is designed to sell an outcome that is often a certain look, as you said, and that is tough to be up against. I am constantly battling that.
Yeah.
And just an example, this morning, I went on a bit of a tirade on my stories on social media. There's in the CrossFit space, there are well-known like female CrossFit Games athletes that have been in the game a long time, respected. And I am seeing them now posting about like oral peptides that they take. And thousands of women are commenting, like, send me the info, send me the info. And when I dug a little deeper to find out, like, what is this supplement or peptide? What is this? That's so great. I find out it's a multi-level marketing company where these games athletes are affiliates and they're trying to make money
Oh,
off of women's vulnerabilities when it comes to health and weight loss. And these oral peptides are simply like powdered drink packets that probably don't have a lot of effectiveness when it comes to the things they claim they will fix. And that is just a small example of the many marketing schemes that are out there designed specifically to target women and their insecurities with their bodies or their weight. And how I combat that is I just show up authentically. This is the reality of that. If you get this, it might give you a placebo effect and you might feel good for a couple of weeks. But ultimately, if you don't take the time to really get consistent with basic
mm,
habits that are, in theory, not that difficult, the hard part is you have to do it consistently for
yeah.
long periods of time, if not forever. You will continue spending unnecessary money on gimmick after supplement, after cleanse, after program, spinning your wheels for years on end. And when I have conversations with women daily, because I have an online business, so I'm constantly messaging and learning about people and hearing their stories, which I love. There's consistent themes throughout this
Yeah.
cycle of I've tried this, I did keto, I did Weight Watchers, I tried carnivore, I tried this de-bloating pill, and nothing's working. None of that stuff is going to work long term for 99% of people. There may be
Mm,
the 1% that have really great success with it. That's not the norm. And if you come into my container and just trust me, then I will show you how slowly and surely we will move the needle. You won't lose 10 pounds in 3 weeks. You might
mm,
lose 10 pounds in 2 months, but you're going to do it the right way and you're going to feel so much more confident and energetic along the way. Like your digestion is going to improve. And like, I don't sell myself that way because it sounds gimmicky, but it's just reality. Like I just point
yeah.
out the reality of big wellness and how much conflicting information is out there. And that's very confusing to women. So I try to just boil it down to the same principles will always apply. You need fiber in your diet. You want to eat protein. You want to move your body. And if that looks like a 10-minute walk 3 times a week and that's all you've got, that's
Yeah.
better than nothing. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be 5 days a week doing Olympic weightlifting training twice a day. It doesn't.
Yeah, I love it. And I think that's the key to it as well. Like it is just being authentic. It's shouting them out. It's calling them off on bullshit, if I'm okay to say that in front of you.
Yeah.
And it is teaching them it's not a daunting process. It is as simple as if you can spare 10 minutes a day to go for a walk and make sure you're eating better, that is what we'll do and we'll start there. And then in a month's time when we have some more time, we'll take the next step. And it is about the
Hmm.
10-year step, not the 10-week process. It is looking into the future. So with regards to
Hmm.
that, like you said that social media is a big tool and a big asset for you. Is that mainly your like main client acquisition channel, or like how else you go about acquiring customers and just finding those right kind of women that want to work with you?
Yeah, I would say probably 70% of my client acquisition is social media,
Amazing.
but not just like organic content, right? Like my
Sure.
content definitely attracts people, but I do a lot of direct outreach. So I'm in the DMs every
Hmm.
single day, multiple times a day, having conversations. Like I genuinely want to help people.
Yeah.
I say people like women specifically, but I genuinely want to help people realize it doesn't have to be so hard. That is the bulk of how I get clients. The other 30% I would say are referrals from existing clients. So I do have a decent referral base. I encourage my clients to share their story if they're willing to, and some of them do, and some of them aren't comfortable with that, and that's okay. But it
Yeah.
really comes down to you have to be having conversations with people. If you want to be in a service-based industry, people need to know who you are and who you help. And in an industry where there are arguably tens of thousands, if not more, coaches online, in person, it's hard to stand out. Like, because this is not self-deprecating, but we are a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
So, what's going to make somebody who doesn't know me trust me over someone else just like me? And it comes down to connection, and my content maybe resonates with you, whereas hers doesn't, or vice versa. Maybe my content doesn't resonate with somebody. I tend to be a little more aggressive in my content by design.
Yeah.
The way I coach is entirely different. I'm actually very nice. But
So don't
it's
take
just
first glances as an
yeah.
example on that one. But no, having an amazing referral just shows the kudos to your work because it's not easy to get that. Not everyone has it, so it just shows the process is good. And as you say, being yourself online, whether it's you feel like you're being slightly more aggressive than people or not, it's just you will find that person who works with you because they like your approach, they resonate with your story, with your personality, and it's just you as it is. Do you run any form of ads as well to maybe like increase with the consistency in lead flow as well?
Not yet. I
Okay.
did ads with my previous business coach and it was quite a flop. As going into meta ads often is, my new business coach, she does ads at a certain point. Like you have to reach like a certain amount of revenue per month. And she focuses more on you have to be really good at like organic growth before getting into ads. And you have to make sure that your process, your systems, your own efficiency with your time is rock solid before going into ads because ads may work sometimes and they may not, but if it does pop off, you have to be able to handle that influx if it does come in. So she doesn't promote ads right away, which I appreciate.
No, it's definitely true. You need to have the capacity on the other side of it because when an ads are, you need to, I'm not saying they're hard or not, but if you know what you're doing, they're great and they take off really well.
Mhm.
So you do have to have the infrastructure and the systems behind it so you can continue to scale and you're not just throwing money out the window 100%. And then obviously, Katie, so you're obviously working with a business coach, but do you have any other kind of help or assistance, or are you pretty much a solopreneur at the moment, kind of
I'm
wearing all the hats, juggling all the jobs?
I'm a solopreneur, but I love it. I consider the pressure that I feel a privilege, truly.
I
I
know.
saw a crazy amount of growth in October and November, and I feel like I'm just finally caught up from that, like onboarding that many clients, and it showed me where my inefficiencies are, where things are broken, and I've had the chance now to start fixing that.
Beautiful.
And in 2026, I do have a goal to start building a team. What that will look like remains to be seen, but I'm hoping to have potentially a setter, somebody who might be in the
Yeah.
DMs alongside me, just helping manage that influx. Maybe a VA at some point to help with some of the graphics and social media and back end CRM type things that is unsexy stuff that nobody loves doing, but is a necessary part of running an online business or an in person business. So that's my goal in 2026 is to have one or two people on my team.
Amazing. And that will just only help as you scale. As you say, like when you do start running ads and the capacity's there, at least you have more time in your calendar if you do hand over some of the jobs, which is just nice. And also for your well-being, a lot of founders end up just taking on all the jobs, wearing all the hats and just causing themselves burnout because it's not an easy job. It's not a fun process running everything yourself.
Right.
But we did touch on the next 6 to 12 months then. So what are the plans for you moving forward? Like when you think of scaling the business, what does that vision look like to you? What is the end goal in mind?
Yeah, this is something my business coach has asked too. It's hard for me to envision that, but I'm getting better at seeing the picture.
Okay.
I never aspired to be a business owner growing up. Like, I was very much like the pipeline of undergrad, post grad, corporate ladder, climate. And that's what I did for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Now, stepping into a completely different work life balance, which is questionable at best some days, it seeing that vision has been a challenge for me to start to think about because I came from a lot of scarcity with money, grew up very low income. So the idea of now running, I'm on track to have a six-figure business in 2026, no problem. And saying that out loud, you're like, me? So my business coach encouraged me. I went to a conference in Dallas, Texas a couple weeks ago with a bunch of her other clients. There was about 30 of
Hmm.
us, and she had us do a 2026 like quarterly and monthly plans. And I see myself running a multi six-figure business in the next 5 years with a team and close to 100 clients stepping into the functional space. I'd love to get certified as like functional coach. There's a lot of different like terms for that and ways you can go about it, but having a deeper understanding of certain biomarkers and lab work so I can better support my clients because I believe that we need to be constantly learning. I want to launch my own podcast next year and start to grow my team. But the 5 year plan is that I'm pushing 500,000 in
Love it.
revenue per year. And I have assistant coaches. I have maybe a closer who's taking sales calls for me. Maybe I've got a different mastermind type offer. And I'd love to also start leading like sober retreats. That is a goal in the next 2 years. I'd love
Yeah,
to work with a company that does retreats around the world and host like a sober trip for other
I love
women
that.
who are sober curious
Yeah.
or maybe newly sober. They've been sober forever. That's certainly a cornerstone of who I am and what I do. And I have a number of clients who have chosen me because of my sobriety journey and because they resonated with that and maybe have struggled with their own addictions
Yeah.
in the past or currently. And I always tell them, like, I am not a counselor, just so you know, like, I'm just somebody who's been through it. And that is all they need is just somebody who understands.
Yeah, so true. I love the idea of that as well. I myself am sober, maybe for,
Oh, I love
yeah. And it's hard for a group of women, I'm 29, so especially within the space, that to find friends to go out with and do normal things with that aren't drinking or aren't partying or aren't doing other things. So it's nice to think that you're going to set up that kind of group, that kind of community, and just bring everybody together within the form of a retreat. I think is amazing. It's such a good
it.
idea.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And you've got a lot on your plate coming up for the next year to 5 years, which is nice as well. Like take it as it
Yeah.
comes and just grow it from there. Really cool. Maybe where are you finding the biggest challenge for yourself moving forward?
I would say belief in myself and like my overall mindset. And that's comical because I talk so much about mindset with my clients, but it is a struggle that I deal with. Not so much in my own health and fitness journey, like that's very much under lock. Like I'm good with that. But being a business owner and growing that to 6+ figures is such a new space for me that I am working to believe it myself and believe that it
Mm-hmm.
can happen. And the belief that it can happen is getting better, but just the belief that this is me, like, how did I get here? And is it luck? Is it something else? Like, those are the inner thoughts that I'm working through.
Yeah,
So I know my biggest challenge will be just believing that I deserve this and that I've worked for this and that I am capable of running a $500,000 business.
I love it because you are. And it's just about avoiding that imposter syndrome. And again, one
Yeah.
of the many things that women in business struggle with is imposter syndrome. And it's just
Mhm.
stepping out of your own way, trusting that your best and your purpose is there for you. And Katie, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible journey and insight with us. Where can our listeners reach out to work with you or connect with you if they would like to do so?
Yeah, so on Instagram at the Sober Weightlifter and on Facebook, Athena Nutrition. And my website is athena-nutrition.com.
Amazing. Athena-nutrition.com. Beautiful stuff.
Yes,
And thank
athena-nutrition.com was taken, unfortunately. So I had to put dash in there, but that's okay.
It's all good. I think it looks better anyway. It'll be easy to find. But again, thank you so much. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to go and check out Katie and all the amazing work that she's doing. And do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from zero to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing and we will see you on the next one.